Like my story?
No, not your story, a story. Since you can't keep your mouth shut long enough for me to read my paper, tell me a story.
I don't think I know any stories.
You don't know any stories?
No.
All right, I'll tell you a story. This is a newspaper, right? It's 90% bullshit, but it's entertaining. That's why I read it, because it entertains me. You won't let me read it. So you entertain me with your bullshit. Tell me a story right now. Go.
What's up, fight fans? And we are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am always your host, Edwin, where the wall fight start. Round one. So apparently now I can't hear my effects. Why? What's going on? Let me see. I gotta play this right now. Sorry. Round one. So apparently now I can't hear my effects. Why? What's going on? Let me see. I gotta play this right now. Sorry. Why is it low? So apparently now I can't hear my effects. Why?
You're right.
What's going on? Let me see. I gotta play this right now. Sorry. What up, guys? Hold on, give me a second. I'll be right with you guys. We're gonna break this down. Can you guys hear the sound effects now?
You're right.
What's up, fight fans? And thank you for tuning in here at another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I'm always your host, Edwin, where the all fights start. Give me a second. I'll be right with you guys. We're going to break this down. All right? That's better. Yeah, I hear the sound effects now. Good. What's up, fight fans? And thank you for tuning in here at another edition here at Round One Sports TV. All right, let's get this episode started. All right, fight fans, we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to discuss, and I want to break down a lot about what really transpired and what happened in the Jerome Boots Ennis and Xander Zayas fight. And we're also going to play situations of other Puerto Rican champions and what were their obstacles at the same age as Xander Zayas. So tune in, lock in. You're not gonna want to miss this episode. Yo, do your boy a solid, hit that like button, and like always, let's hop right into this episode. Let's go. Damn. All right. Hold on. Obviously, there's something up over lights here. Yeah, I got it on the definition. Okay. Man, I hope this thing kind of fixed this mic situation, but let's find out. So, there's going to be a lot of sad song being played here, and it's for Xander. PR's down bad. But that's okay. We're here to break it down. Listen, it is what it is. The young man dared to be great. He came up short, right? Now, I would love to play the actual fight for you, but due to copyright infringement, you know, they're talking about, it's too soon. It's too soon. The wounds are, the people are still healing, so I can't actually play it, but I can break it down and you can watch it at home and we can walk through what happened. The fight was very exciting, but very short. So, you know, let's first talk about how we got here, what was on the line, and what old fighters dared to be great. Remember, Xander Zayas was just coming off his gaining his second title, becoming one of the youngest unified champions in boxing history. Xander, at a young age, at 16 years old, he was signed to Top Rank. Top Rank quickly took a liking to young Xander, and they saw the talent in the fighter. So, how did we get here in the first place? Jerron Boots Ennis was in deep negotiations with Golden Boy Promotion with their fighter, Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz is the Mexican, you know, somewhat of a superstar, I would say. He has a big, a big name, and a lot of people consider him a real threat in the division. They place him amongst the 1, 2, and 3 in the division. Wherever you place him, that's up to you. So Virgil Ortiz and Jerron Boots Ennis went into negotiations. And from what I'm being told, the dollar amount that was offered was $3 million. Virgil's lawyer and manager wanted a flat 7. They didn't want no pay-per-view. They didn't want to hear anything. They just wanted 7. Many people feel that he priced himself out for a fight like that, never being a world champion. How could you want 7? When 3 is more money than most fighters ever see in their entire career for one fight, 3 million. Most fighters ain't making that kind of money. And Virgil, they feel, priced himself out. So here comes the young, hungry Puerto Rican. And he can feel the pressure from the boxing world. He just accomplished something that no Puerto Rican was able to do, which get 2 belts in only the young age of 23. Now, only at the age of 23, let's think about this. He didn't match the greatest Puerto Rican champion accomplishment. The highest any of them ever did was 2 belts, and he matched it. Now, as far as a title run, your reign as a champion, he has a lot of work to do. And we're going to take a look at some of the Puerto Rican champions that were put in the same or similar situation. How did they do? And that's why it's tough being the best, not only in your era, but in your country. It's hard being the best American fighter now, isn't it? You got to do some shit. Without that 3 division, all 4 belts Terrence Crawford got, he would never be in the conversation with fighters like Floyd Mayweather. Now, would he? Shit, I don't think he would pass the door with Sugar Ray Leonard and uh Marvelous Hagler and them. Like, I don't think he passes those guys. He without those 3 division, all 4 belts, he doesn't have enough names on his resume, enough world champions. Now, would he? So there to be the best in your country is very difficult. Now, there's a lot of things that Xander Zayas, I don't think he would touch. He can't be the youngest Puerto Rican champion in boxing history because Benitez got that. At the young age of 17, he was a world champion. So Xander can't turn back the hands of clock time, right? So he's not going to beat a record like that. So as far as title runs and what other Puerto Rican champions, this is why this shit is tough. This is why this shit is tough. Like, for instance, check this out. Felix Trinidad, he wasn't 23 years old. No, he wasn't. But he had 23 professional fights like Xander did. Xander came into this fight against Jerron Boots Ennis with 23 professional fights. So I said, what was Felix doing at 23 professional fights? Well, Felix Trinidad with 23 professional fights, he was already a world champion. Okay? At 21, he was a world champion because Felix came into this fight in particular with 23 fights. He came in against Campos. Now, Campos came into the fight 23 years old. Campos was 23 years old, and Felix Trinidad was 21 years old with 23 fights, undefeated. Campos' record, a staggering 56 fights with 50 knockouts at 23 years old. That's why I say Saul Canelo Alvarez is the last of the Mohegans. He's a unicorn. We're not going to see a boxing record like that no more. Campos, at 23 years old, he had 56 professional fights by 23. Listen, let's look at how Felix Trinidad fought in this fight. And if he was met with the same adversity that Xander was met with. Now, I think this is a fight I can play. Let's check this out. All right, for boxing, educational boxing purposes, we're going to be taking a look at Felix Trinidad, right? Wait. Let me stop that for a second. This is Felix Trinidad versus Campos, right? Felix Trinidad had 23 professional fights. Xander has 23 professional fights coming into the fight with Jerome Boots Ennis. But in this fight, Felix was only 21 years old. And Campos was 23 years old. As a matter of fact, right? Hold on. I would like to do something. Before we do that, why don't we go here first? I'm going a little fast. Because, okay, listen. This is actually the bout, right? No. This is Felix against. Okay, let's see here. Who's this? No. But he did fight Felix Trinidad. So let's just go to his record. There's Felix. There's the man right there. Look at Felix Trinidad. Woo, what a champion. Man, he's 53 years old now. He's 5'11". Boy, that man had an 83% knockout ratio. He was. All right, let's check him out. I think we're going to have to go down some because Felix was 21, bro. Right? So you got to go down. Let's see here. Damn, Hector Camacho, bro. He's got some fucking names on his. Okay, let's not get lost. Let's stay focused. Let's go to the Campos fight. Where was it? Stay focused. Where the hell is the fight at? Did I pass it? I must have. When did he fight Campos? It has to be right around here. He was young. Right here. Here it is. Okay, look at this record. 56 and oh. Yo, check it out, right? My man had ended his record with 108 fights, bro. 83 knockouts, 17 losses, and 9 by knockout, right? Mexican fighter, 108 fights, bro. You ain't gonna see that shit no more, bro. You ain't gonna see that shit no more. So let's scroll down here. He didn't fight a lot of great champions, though. He really didn't. But great Mexican fighter, bro. Only fought like 4 or 5 champions, world title fights. He lost a lot of his major fights and shit. But straight dog. But he came into the fight again. Damn, he got Oscar De La Hoya on the record and shit. Stay focused. Where's Felix Trinidad? Fernando Vargas. Stay focused. Okay, come on. Damn, bro. He's got 108 fights, bro. We're going to be scrolling for. Oh, here he is. Okay, now. Felix Trinidad. Wait, hold on. Did I do that backwards? Yeah, I did. Let's just do that. Okay. Okay, boom. Here, this is what we were supposed to do. You go to the bout, you click this, and you come here. Bam! There it is, right there. Boom. Look, Felix Trinidad came into the fight with 23 fights. His age was 21. Campos had 56 fights and his age was 23. He already had 56 fights, bro. He had 50 knockouts, man. He was undefeated when Felix Trinidad taught him how to lose a fight. Look. I just want to show you that first. There they both are right there. Boom. And we're going to watch the fight now. Now let's go watch the fight. Let's go watch the fight. Let's see what happened on that night. Let's go check out the fight. Check it out. Check it out. Bam. So here it is, right here. Felix Trinidad. This is Puerto Rican fighter at this age. This is why what makes him great. This is what Xander has to do. And when Xander's faced with adversity, can he overcome? Now, Felix didn't end his career undefeated. So it doesn't matter when you take your losses, but it does matter how many wins you have. Try to take the fewer losses. So let's see what happens here in this fight.
Where you hear the crowd get behind
Campos comes out. Felix using his legs. Man, I hate the glitch, and I'm sorry, guys. But look at Felix's footwork.
We had him a couple of
popping the jab.
Oh,
nice
right
right there in the face. Campos got that Mexican high guard style coming in pressure. Look at that hook.
Not taking any chances.
That's that Puerto Rican check hook right there. Boom. It's like all Puerto Rican fighters are born with it. Boom. Uppercut on the inside. Felix is doing some good work here, circling out.
Had a little
Campos is stalking him, just stalking him. Boom, body shot on the inside. I hate the lagging, but maybe it's necessary. Maybe they won't copyright me.
To start, considered to be one of boxing
and Felix is circling out. Boom, Campos is relentless. Ooh, that check hook. Campos landed. Pay attention to that, because that's going to come back in the fight to bite Felix.
Like Boy Compers,
Felix has to pick up his guard right there. Ooh, good work on the inside by the Mexican Campos. Ooh, nice little footwork right there. Boom, Felix, watch out. Watch out for that check hook, Felix. Don't stay there. Oh, Felix.
Oh, down goes Trinidad.
Felix goes down. But what happens when Felix goes down?
I'm telling you, heavy
That's
hands.
terrifying.
I mean,
if you don't keep that man down, you just woke a sleeping
dragon.
Bro, here comes Felix Trinidad. It's still the second round. He went down in the second round.
When you get dropped by this guy,
oh, Felix, touching him up. Felix is mad. He went down in the fight.
Again,
that you gotta speak of that.
What's ahead with Chavez?
Look at Felix. Well, he never was embarrassed. He was just focused, and he was taking a pounding right here a little. This man was putting a lot of pressure on Felix. Oh, and there goes that check hook, went down to the body. Oh, he hit Felix big up top right there.
This fight, which is top flight.
Felix got up. You seen his leg?
You have to wonder if that
kind of wobbled there. His legs were. But you know what Felix had?
There's something about champion.
Great recuperating power. Let me take down the volume of this. Shit, I was fucking up. He has great recuperating power, Felix Trinidad. Nice body shot on the inside. Now Felix has been down in this fight. Oh, uppercut on the inside. Look at Felix though. Boom, nice straight. You know what I'm saying? Boom. And then Felix is in close with him, just like Xander was, right? He's in close. He's in the fire. He's not running from him. And he just got dropped. And Felix is this. Oh, Felix tagged him. Look at this. Oh, nice uppercut on the inside. Look at the head movement, though. See the head movement? Slipping punches, blocking punches. Felix Trinidad's defense was way better. Boom, look at that check hook. Toma. Te quieto. Toma, toma. Yeah, baby. Hold on, baby. Felix started making the adjustments. He's going forward. He was a real Puerto Rican power. Come up and down. You want to put me down? Oh, it's getting real. Going forward. Felix, watch the body shot. Nice check hook. Oh, toma. Oh, back and forth. Back and forth. That shit is electric. Man, was it? Oh, what a comeback. What a comeback, bro. What a Yo, listen. That's what Xander could have brought us, bro. Man. Like other champions too, like Miguel Cotto too. Right here. Look at this is Miguel Cotto at 23 years old. Puerto Rican champion Miguel Cotto, you know? And let me yeah, listen. There it is. Nice. Yeah, I picked the right video. Look, Miguel Cotto was 23. He was 27. And whatever the kilograms, if you can figure that shit out, right? Right? Mm. So this is awesome that I didn't have to put up their box rec because in this video it had their ages. But I know that this is where he was at 23. So let's see how he was tested at 23 and what he had to overcome. Let's take that jab. Woo! Come on, man. Don't be you can't get that shit out of here. Hey, bro, don't you got a party to attend? Get out of here. Come on, back to the action. Listen on my ladies and gentlemen. There you have it. Salute. There you have it, man. That's what they were doing at 23 and 21. And, and that's why it's very hard to be the best in your country. It's even going to be harder to impress Americans now, isn't it? Yeah. And then just with the obstacle that Xander has in front of him, he's very young. He's 23 years old, and he has a lot of boxing ahead of him. So when we talk about placing Xander, now let's just say that he would have beaten Jaron Boots Ennis. To tell you the truth, it really wouldn't have done anything for Xander's career as far as putting something in front of the next Puerto Rican champion. It wouldn't have given him anything, really. It would have given him the respect, the recognition of beating what many feel is arguably the best fighter that he fought up to that time. But since Jaron Boots Ennis himself is not that very accomplished, it won't go down for Xander as a great win. He doesn't win another belt. He only gets a title defense. That's it. So there have been many Puerto Ricans that defended their belts, and two of the belts. That's not nothing new. So he really wouldn't have done anything by beating Jaron Boots Ennis, but got the status of today's time. You understand? He would have got the respect. He would have got the name. He would have been the first one to give him the loss. He would have got all that kind of stuff. But as far as, your reign, what you did, Xander has a lot of work in front of him. He has a lot of work in front of him. But just like Terrence Crawford, he can get in the conversation in a different way. He doesn't have to be the youngest Puerto Rican champion in history. No. He's already the youngest undisputed. Unified. Sorry. He's already the youngest unified champion in Puerto Rican history. Yes. So he's got one. He's got one thing on his side. Okay. Now, what can he add to that if he ever became undisputed? I'll put undisputed against any Puerto Rican accolade. Yeah. He doesn't need 14 title defenses. He doesn't need to be the youngest ever. He won't need all the divisions. No. That right there by itself will kind of catapult him in the room. Yeah, it will. So if you can get that, and at least match. Put at least 3 divisions behind it. Won't be the most because we got 4. Cotto's got 4. So 3 would you only be in the room with like Camacho and them. So 3 is good. 3 with undisputed. 3 with undisputed. Yeah, you might go down as the greatest Puerto Rican fighter in Puerto Rican history. Yeah. So it's not, there's other ways in the room, is what I'm saying. I don't think he's going to catch Felix Trinidad from title defenses. Nah, I don't think so. I'm not sure. Those days are over. These dudes ain't staying in the division that long like that and having a run like that. Nah, I don't think so. But he could. There's other ways. Like Terrence Crawford got in the room because of the 3 divisions, all 4 belts. That's how Terrence Crawford got into the conversation of the GOAT. The GOAT. He got in the conversation because of that. Not because of the champions he fought or the world fucking biggest fights that generated the most money. Like, not because of that, those things. That Saul one didn't do like Mayweather numbers. No, no, no. So, but there's other ways in the room. So look, let's break down what happened in the fight between Xander Zayas and Jerron Boots Ennis. No bias commentating. No, I don't need any to sugarcoat anything for Xander. Xander got cooked. Bottom line. Stir fried. He got cooked. All right? It was basically a one-sided event besides one round and one moment. Okay? I'm honest. And as a matter of fact, even when Xander had that moment, Duran ended the round strong and tagged Xander and Little wobbled him still in the same round. I'm not going to lie about anything. We don't need it. I don't need to minimize it. Nothing. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. And exactly what happened was this. As soon as that bell rang, and I mean the second that bell went, it went like this. It went. The fight was over. Jerron Boots Ennis walked out and he threw those first 3 jabs. He went. And I sat there in little disbelief. I said, hold up. With the first 3 punches you threw, commonly you come out and you go into the air to measure the distance. You're not even that close. The second one is you're almost like you might hit him, right? And like, a couple more, like, where am I? Where am I? Jerron Boots Ennis walked out and went. No. I said, no. You already got your distance. Xander, you stepped that close to him. So Xander was already there. Then for all the people that say Xander's strategy is the way he fought was all wrong. Bullshit. At what point was Xander's strategy wrong in any sense of the word? I would love for someone to come up here and explain to me what he could have done better. Explain to me what he could have done that the outcome of the fight would have been different. Please. Show me your vast boxing knowledge. I'll get a pen out. I'll get a paper, and I want to take notes. Any coach, anyone, tell me what he could have done different that the outcome would have changed. Nothing. absolutely nothing that Xander would have. There is levels to this. There is levels. And Jerron Boots Ennis is on a different level than Xander. When Xander, when all the people they came out and said Xander should have boxed him, he should have boxed him. That's exactly what he did in the first round. Nobody watching the fight? Am I the only one that watched that fight? Xander actually tried to box him in the first round. Look at Xander when Duran's coming forward. He's boxing Xander. That's what it would have looked like for 12 rounds. But what happened? Xander tried to dip, tried to take the punches like he was trained to do in the game plan. Get close. Xander, you're not faster than him. You're not more skilled than him. You don't have his special effects. That uppercut was money. You couldn't stop it. Xander knew if he stood on that back foot or tried to box Jerron Boots Ennis, he would have got a worser ass whooping for 12 rounds. He probably would have survived the 12, but he would have been fucked up. You would have saw Xander got like bubbled up. That's all that would have happened. The fact that Xander met him, but he was forced to. Let me explain why. Let's continue. We're not even out the first round. When Xander started to engage him in the first round, and Jerron Boots, and he was trying to walk in, Jerron Boots Ennis was so fast, Xander couldn't adjust to the punches. He took those shots, and Jerron Boots Ennis spun him. Boom! He spun him. Xander hit the ground. He was a little shocked. And then what he also noticed is when he stood up, his legs were gone. And he was in trouble. Right there in the first round, Jerron Boots Ennis took Xander's legs. And he was like, he didn't have no bounce in his step. He could stand. Now he was stuck with a situation where that he knew that if he tried to like move, his body was going to do an awkward step. It was going to give Jerron Boots Ennis the information he needed. Oh, your legs are gone. I'm going to pressure you, right? So when Jerron Boots Ennis, he didn't know that Xander's legs were gone yet. Jerron Boots Ennis was still boxing him in the second round, putting a beating on him. But when the third round came around, that everybody in the stadium jumped out of their seats. What happened was Xander bit down on the mouthpiece and he stood in the pocket and he didn't move his head that much because his waist was gone. Xander couldn't do what Xander does. He couldn't shift with his legs, go like this and move. No, he was in trouble. So Xander bravely just put up his hands and took the punches and stood there. And he was forcing the exchange with Jerron Boots Ennis. He was in there mixing it up. And he waited for his moment. Boom, and it came. Xander clipped him. And Jerron Boots Ennis wobbled. But Jerron Boots Ennis wore it well. But he was stunned. He was just standing there. And Xander threw that straight shot. Boom. And Jerron Boots Ennis' head snaps back violently. That the entire audience was like, it was so visible. He went like that. So when that happened, Jerron Boots Ennis grabbed Xander for dear life, right? And Xander was trying to get out of it. He was like, let go of me, like trying to get out of it. And Jerron Boots Ennis was holding on to him like he was about to go away for the army and he was saying bye for the final time. He didn't want to let go, right? So Xander tried to like hit him again, but you can see Xander couldn't shift his feet underneath of him to get in the next position to throw a big punch. Xander was in front of him. Xander didn't shift like he shifted on Abbas Baru, like he shifted in Chino Perez, where he sidestepped. He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. And then fucking Duran Boots Ennis came back in the round, hit Xander with a fucking uppercut and then a check hook. And then fucking Xander took it like this. And Xander was just like this. He couldn't evade. And he was like, boom, boom. And then Duran Boots Ennis picked up on it. He knew. I don't know if his dad told him. I don't got footage on that. I can't speak on it. When did exactly Duran Boots Ennis know that Xander's legs were gone? But he knew. And he just took it to Xander. He knew Xander was a sitting duck. When he started throwing his punches, that's why he was throwing them with so much confidence and so hard. Because he knew Xander would be there. He knew Xander was a sitting duck that he couldn't move. So he was just like teeing off on Xander. And Xander fucking went down. When Xander went down in the fight, every time he went down, he utilized the 8 count, the full 8 count. You know, it was good for him to do shit like that because when I saw that, you know, he wasn't like prideful. You know, when some guys go down for the first time, they get up real fast. And the coach tells them, son, don't get up fast because you're going to get dizzy. You're going to get dizzy. It's going to rush up to you. So you just been down, utilize the 8 count, get up, clear your head, you know, and like that, right? Okay. So the round before the fight was actually stopped, they were threatening on stopping the fight. Duran Boots Ennis, by this point, was having his way, a lot of success, and Xander wasn't getting any better. Well, we were just hopeful that something can happen, the magic can happen. I mean, we've seen fights in boxing before where Diego Corrales fought Castillo. And Diego Corrales, his eye was shut. He was taking a beating. And Castillo looked fresh. He didn't even look like he was in a fight. And Diego Corrales came back in the fight and knocked him out. And he got stopped. He got stopped on the ropes. So as fight fans, we've seen many fights. We've seen comebacks. We just saw Felix Trinidad come back against Campos, right, man? And because Felix Trinidad was down in the second round in the fight. He came back in the fight and stopped him in the 4th. You see? So we were just hopeful, but by that point, Duran Boots Ennis had taken over in the fight. And the referee comes over and he informs Xander in his corner. I went back later and I saw the video of when the referee, because I watched the whole fight on when I came back, because I was there live. I watched it live, but I wanted to come home and watch it like you guys did. So I watched it. I saw when the referee came over. I'm sure we all heard it. He said, yo, Xander, I can't allow you to keep taking punches like that. Gotta show me something or I'm going to stop the fight. Javi Doc told him. So Xander's coach told Xander, listen, Xander, you wanted to fight. You wanted to test yourself amongst the very best. You're losing badly. I'm your coach. I make the decisions here. I'm going to give you one more round to prove to me that you are still in this fight. If shit goes left, Xander, stop in the fight. Xander knew that. Xander goes out there, fights, is the best he could with what compromised situation he was in with no legs. But he's got to do it. He's got to do it. What is he going to do now? Right? So he goes out there and he gets dropped. What really happened when Xander Zayas went down? Xander Zayas went down on one knee, went like that, got to his knee, looked at the referee. By the time Javi Doc had gotten to Xander, he was already at 4-5. At 5, he was looking, Xander was looking at him. Xander saw his coach walking up to the apron, calling the fight. The referee was looking at Xander, at what are you looking at? And he turned around and looked, and he saw Xander's Coach throwing in the white flag. He threw in the towel. Then the referee turns around, taps him on the shoulder, says, "Your night is over, son. It's over. Your coach called the fight." So when Xander was on his knee, he was just utilizing the 8 count. He's going to stand up, continue the fight. Had his coach not stopped the fight, Xander would have got up. Xander didn't call it quits. He didn't give up. The only thing he was a respectable student. He respected his coach's decision. He didn't lash out, scream, "No, why'd you stop the fight? I'm good, I'm good." Xander didn't need to do any of that. He knew, Xander, if you get dropped again, Xander wasn't trying to get dropped. But he got put down. And Xander was like, fuck. And he went like that. He went, "All right, cool. Coach, you called it. Fine." He was mad. He was mad. He just lost 2 belts. He just got his ass kicked like that in front of everybody. Do you really think Xander wanted out? He was outgunned. He was outmatched. He knew. He bit off more than he can chew. Young fighter, man. Sometimes, look at Big Baby. Another top ranked fighter fought Martin Piccoli there. Some of these young guys bite off more than they can chew. Look at Fernando Vargas when he fought Felix Trinidad. They said, "Fernando Vargas, you're too young. You're too green to fight Felix Trinidad." And Vargas said, "Nah, fuck that. I could beat him." And Vargas should have never took that fight with Felix. He should have never been in there with Felix Trinidad, to tell you the truth. No. And Xander should have never been in there with Boots. But you got these young Eagles in the game, bro, and you can't tell them nothing. Nothing. They got to find out. Fernando Vargas, he had to find out. Xander Zayas, he had to find out. Saul Canelo Alvarez, he had to find out against Floyd. Saul didn't belong in that ring with Floyd. No, he didn't. But what? They hyped him up. Hyped him. Yeah, Canelo, you could beat him, bro. Yeah, Canelo. Well, Canelo had 44 fights. He was already a world champion. 44 fights when he fought Floyd. But he was 23. Like, some of these fighters, yes, dare to be great, man. And they fight these fights that they really shouldn't have been. And we were like, yo, it's a bit too early. But what happens when the young guy wins? What happens when Oscar De La Hoya beats the shit out of Julio Cesar Chavez? Not once, but twice. What happens when the young guy wins? I know it's a bit more, a further wider gap in age. Not much. I think Julio Cesar Chavez was 33 and Oscar was 23, like that. So and Jerome Boots Ennis was 29 and Xander was 23. So it's not really far off there, but the young guy won in that situation. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, like, look, he was outclassed. Xander was outclassed. He was outmatched. Jerome Boots Ennis was right. He said, leading into the fight, it doesn't matter, Xander, what you do. Doesn't matter what game plan you come up with. You do not possess the skills to fight with a fighter such as myself. There's levels to this, and I'm going to teach you that. That's exactly what happened. That's it. That's it. And I think that you know, Xander's future from here, to tell you the truth, I think he gets a title fight at 160. For losing, I think he gets a title fight. Yeah, because where else? What else are you gonna do with a man like that? He has a big following. He's still a superstar. He's a former unified world champion, right? He checks out all the boxes. Ryan Garcia, coming off a year suspension, got a title fight with Rolly, lost the title fight, and was awarded another title fight with Mario Barrio. Saul Canelo Alvarez lost his 4 belts to Terrence Crawford. He's getting a title shot right now against Billy. Come again? Hmm? Would you like me to go on? How many fighters have lost fights and awarded title fights? Yo, didn't Lamont Rhodes come off like some draws and fight for like an interim world title or some shit against like Esau Pitbull Cruz and fucking who else? Like there is just so much. Manny Pacquiao can come off 5 years off his couch right into a title fight. Uh, bro. So what do you think they're gonna do with Xander? Title fight. Um, there's opportunity there. We talked about this yesterday. Laura, tricky one. Is Carlos Adames the champion or not? Did he move up? What's going on with that belt? Jannerbeck, man, that's the toughest fight right there, bro. I don't know about that one, bro. You might want to stay away from that man for just a little bit, Xander. Just a little bit. Get a little bit better. He could beat him. He could beat him. Xander could beat him. But he can also acclimate to the division, get stronger, pick up a couple belts. Meanwhile, then fight him, type shit like that. But let's see what he looks like in the division. And if you're gonna throw him in with one of the champions right away, I would prefer that it was one of those guys or the vacant IBF because he shouldn't have any problem making the rehydration claw, moving up in weight. You know what I'm saying? I think Xander would be good with it. It'll be a good starter belt right there, the IBF. Grab that. Who knows? Make a title defense on it or something. Then start to unify. Try to duplicate what you duplicated at least at 154. Then see where we go from there for Xander. But to be honest with you, I don't think the rematch Xander should take with Jerron Boots Ennis. Why would you do that to him? And what gave you the third round? That's what gave you the impression we might be able to get this back. So you're willing to take the chance on further hurting your fighter, your 23-year-old fighter. You want to put him through that right now in his career. That's what you want to do? Rather than mold more of your fighter. You got a lot more. He hasn't even gotten his man strength yet. He hasn't even gotten his man strength. What is the rush? You think that's an option? Oh, let's put him back in with Jerome. No, you have something in Xander. Live to fight another day. Jerron Boots Ennis is right there at 154. The odds of him moving up to 160 are pretty high. You're going to run into him again. You can have this fight at 160 and you be champion again. You can rewrite history. By then, you could probably have 2 belts. He's coming up the division, vacating his belts, and trying to fight you again. And this time, it could be a different outcome. Because I feel that Xander gave a lot in this fight. I think he was obviously weight depleted. I think he was easier to knock out. I think had Xander been better hydrated and didn't have to cut so much weight, I don't think those punches that Jerron Boots Ennis hit him with would have put him down in the first round. I think something had to do because, listen, this 2 weeks and whatever days, or almost 3 weeks, leading into the other press conference, leading into the fight, it was like a month. Nah, it was like a month and like 4 weeks, like 5 weeks out. 5 weeks out. Remember, Jerron Boots Ennis was fat shaming Xander for being so big. When we saw him at the press conference and Xander came out with that white suit, it was alarming. The amount of weight he cut. That shit, you looked at Xander, he was blinking, he was like this. You knew that was the day before the fight. You knew Xander gave too much. And when he went down like that, I was like, man, Xander can't make this weight no more. He's killing himself. He's too big. And that helped. Jerron Boots Ennis put him down that much easier. But I think a properly hydrated Xander, he would have been able to take those punches a lot more better. And it was evident. It was evident to me that, yeah, Xander, bro, homeboy, you might have gave too much, unfortunately. And it cost you. It cost him. It did. So I, I I think that Xander is gonna learn a lot from this experience. I think that Xander is gonna, I think he's gonna bounce back, better than ever. And I also believe that Ron Boots Ennis is going to you know, uh further his career and probably unify uh the rest of the division. What's up, Super Chat? First Super Chat of the day. We got a $2 Super Chat. What's up, my man? Stop the cab. Xander came in 180. Boots came in 168. Right. 180 like that, bro. That was water weight, and that was bad, bro. It was bad, man. That was like they tried to like quickly blow him up, and that backfired. They couldn't get the water to go in your body, man, and he was just dehydrated. 180, bro. Like Xander was clearing that in most of his fights. 186, 187, and sometimes he would come in even a bit lower and be better in shape for the fight. But he was younger. He was younger at 21, 22. He was cutting weight great. It looks like his height and his body is just too big. And when he came in at 180 like that, I knew. I was like, bam, bro. They was trying to put all the water back in him. And you can't tell the human body what to do. The danger about cutting weight is that the first organ to release all the water out of your body is your brain. And it's the last organ to take water in. Now, unless you got all that fucking technology shit, and I don't know how they'll do that and tell which one gets water, you're gambling. You're playing Russian roulette. Now, they could have like packed them in with water and food, and Xander came in 180. That was a sluggish, like not that good 180. You were starving your body like that. You only like packed on the water and the weight, but it didn't flow through your body. It didn't guarantee that all your organs got filled with liquid. That doesn't work that way. It just means that your belly's full. And you put a lot of water in your body. Now your water is just sitting there and it's processing through your body. That takes a time. You might need to go back to sleep, let your body heal, and start the process. And the night before the fight, the biggest fight of your life, you're probably not going to sleep. You're not going to get because the nerves and the anxiety. So you cut the weight, you're trying to put it on, and you really don't get that much sleep, but you get a lot of rest. You lay there, you try to rest, but it's not the same thing. So if your body doesn't 100% put the water back into your skull, you're deplenished. The scale might show that you weigh, your belly's full, you got the water in you. It just hasn't processed through your body. So you can come in, get on the scale. Okay, he's heavy, but that doesn't mean you're not deplenished. You still are. You're still going to get knocked out. That's why, you know, we all know this, but we just add the heavyweight division in boxing because it's fucking there, right? But the truth is, the heavyweight division is the only division that is its own separate division. They play by their own set of rules. That the rest of the boxing divisions have to obey by a certain set of rules. If you're gonna compete in this division, you gotta make this weight. At heavyweight, there's no weight cutting. A heavyweight fighter has never cut weight in their life. They're always replenished. That's why they're able to go out through an extensive career and still be up here pretty good. They show a little signs and effects, yes. But George Foreman was commentating fucking till the day he was, Mike Tyson is there, Lennox Lewis, you see them all. But our guys, we pay the ultimate price because we go in partially to finish fight after fight after fight after fight after fight, taking punches. That's why Fernando Vargas talks the way he does now. Because of that. Because if you cut and wait and taking punches, and that's where the damage comes in. Xander Zayas, it was impossible for him to put all the liquid back into his brain at that amount of time. He gave too much. Yeah, that was kind of like when Keyshawn Davis fought Edwin De Los Santos, was scheduled to fight Edwin De Los Santos. Edwin De Los Santos made the weight, but he looked like he was dying. He looked like he was dying. And Keyshawn Davis was nice, replenished. And Keyshawn was like, yo, let's fight. Keyshawn knew. The coaches knew, everybody knew that was there. If Keyshawn punches him, he's going to knock him out. Edwin gave too much. Edwin said, hell no, I'm not fighting you. It was bad enough I had to fight you. And if you would have made the weight, you would have called Edwin De Los Santos bluff. If Keyshawn made that weight, Edwin De Los Santos was screwed in that fight. Either way, he was screwed. He gave too much. Yeah. There's been a lot of situations like that in boxing. Yeah, man. Xander was a weight bully. How could you say that? So everybody else in the division is not a weight bully? Miss me with that. Devin Haney is not considered one, and everybody in the division. Know what? Is Sebastian Fedora a weight bully? How about Espinoza? Is he a weight bully or is he a tall bully? What excuse would you like to make? Xander's a professional, I know that. Has Xander ever missed weight? No. Where's your evidence of weight bullying? So Edgar Berlanga's a weight bully because he came in 190 against Saul? What? Miss me with the weight bully excuse. Did you make the weight? Okay. So if you give too much or you only got too little, that's your fault. If you can make the weight, but in doing so, it replenishes you and you get knocked out, That's your fault. It's your fault. If Xander couldn't make this weight no more, and he's responsible for the outcome. Xander, you gave too much, you were waiting, you got stopped. What does that tell you? Xander, it's time to move up. You lost. You gambled in the fact that you were going to win like this. Test yourself. You're responsible for the outcome. So if you can make the weight and put it on and get bigger, right, and win the fight and get credit for the win, so you can also get credit for the loss when you go in the fight, but on your weight, come in and lose. No excuses. Xander, you gave too much. Then you try to fucking correct the situation by putting it on. Didn't work. You got to move out of the division, bro. You've outgrown the division. That's it. And you paid the price. That's it. You paid the price. There's a lot of fighters, a lot of fights. Yo, why are you still fighting in this division? You should have left a long time ago, Ford, against Nick Ball. You should have left it. We knew you couldn't make that weight. You struggled to make that weight. And when you lose the fight, we obviously can see it. But what happens? Brother, you lost. Xander, you lost. You're responsible for the outcome. Did you not sign that contract? All right. Shit, you knew. Shit, people said Stephen Kubo Fulton should have never fought Naoya Inoue because he was having problem making the weight, that he should have left. But guess what kept him in the weight? $3 million. That's what kept him in the weight. Did you say $3 million? He training harder. But you should have been left, bro. You know what I'm saying? So no excuses. Just pointing out the facts. Xander, you were depleted, bro. You got knocked the fuck out, bro. It's what happened, bro. It's his fault. I'm not making an excuse for him. I'm pointing out where he failed. But still, somebody would try to give me shit about that. Pointing out his failure, saying it's his fault. Somehow I'm capping for him. Maybe I should lie. Maybe then they'll believe me. What kind of lie could I say? You did not see Xander lose. Jerome Boots Ennis got KO'd. Oh, wait, no. They robbed Xander. They stopped it early. Would you like me to do that? Would you like me to be that asshole right there? Would you like me to turn into that guy? Conspiracy theories type? Did you guys not see it when the referee went over to Xander's corner? He literally got a bow tie dart into Xander's neck, which made him delusional. He got, yo, would you like me to do that? Would it help? Would it help if I start coming up with sad stories for Xander? Would that make you feel better? Poor Xander, he was robbed. He was put in too early. You guys took advantage of him. No means no. But you guys forced him to a contract. You know, would you like me to do that? Would it be better for you? No. Fuck y'all. He paid the price. He was outgunned, bro. There's levels to this, man. Let me read some of y'all chat. What up, guys? Devin not at 154. No shit, Sherlock. He will be eventually. Oh, who you talking to? Frontline? Where's Frontline that win? Frontline that win? I don't know, bro. Frontline's on vacation. He's out on vacation right now and shit, trying to get like those tattoos. Listen, to all you guys that ask me why Frontline never shows his face, let me tell you the story, what happened. Frontline is a proud Puerto Rican. As you can see, he always wears his flag. He was in college and he wanted to represent. He wanted to put a PR, Rico, but on his face. But when his sorority brothers went to put the tattoo on his face, they didn't realize that when you write a tattoo, you got to do it backwards on the paper. Because when you put it on your face, it comes out backwards. So he doesn't have PR, he has RP, Rico, RP Rico. And people be like, yo, who's Rico? And how'd he die? Right? So it's really embarrassing. Then the guy that was doing the tattoo, it gets worse. That was doing the tattoo on his face, he was colorblind. So rather than putting red, white, and blue, he put red, white, and green. So he has the Mexican flag on an RP for his face, and he's Puerto Rican. He's ashamed to show his face. And we have to do a donation for Frontline to try to get the surgery to remove that, to give him a better life so that he can smile again on the camera. But for right now, unless we don't raise enough funds, so please put it in the super chat. Help Frontline bring out that smile once again and stop living in fear of his mistake in college. You know, poor Frontline, poor Frontline. Yeah. Yeah, Frontline. I love you, Frontline. Frontline. We got to eat some crow around here. Been eating that crow all week. And Frontline's been on vacation. And I've been up here taking on the battle by myself. You know, Frontline skipped in and briefly while you guys were all not around on a morning show. You know how Frontline do in and out. But he ain't been. Frontline told you guys, win, lose, or draw, I will be here. Have anybody? I'm gonna make a missing person report poster. Have you seen Frontline? Have you seen anybody out there, right, with an RP tattoo, with a Mexican flag on it? That's Frontline. That's Frontline. You know what I'm saying? You tell him, get your punk ass back on his show. I don't want to hear you on vacation and your wife don't want you talking boxing. That's a cop out. It's a cop out because she's saving you. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm here, front and center. Where's Frontline? You know what I mean? I feel like I'm taking all the abuse. It's my show, right? I got to go down with the ship right now for this fight. You know, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Thank God for more fights and more opportunities for all these fighters. And shit, you know, you got Abdullah Mason. That's my boy. Yo, he gonna rock Albert Bell. Right? Yo, Albert Bell, man, I've been checking him out. He's decent. You know, all this shit about Albert Bell putting hands and hooves on Abdullah Mason, he probably did when Abdullah was like 15 years old. 15, 16 years old. Shit is right now when they're in the face-off, Abdullah still looks like a kid. He's standing next to a grown man. So yeah, I could buy into the notion that Albert Bell was probably being or getting the best of a young kid at a certain point in time. Okay? But we're not in that time anymore. And just like we seen just the other night with Jose Valenzuela and Edwin De Los Santos on that Zuffa card, Edwin De Los Santos beat the shit out of fucking Jose Valenzuela. And he hurt him bad in that fight. And Jose Valenzuela came in that fight and didn't give two shits about that. It was like, we grown men now. I was young back then. Let me show you what time it is. Ah, face down, ass up. Rocked them. We men now. Yeah. At one point in time, Albert Bell was probably beating up on a young teenager. And, and, what you want me to take from that? Yo, believe in I'm a Abdullah Mason. Believe in Abdullah Mason, bro. And I'm rocking out with fucking Cleveland's own. Matter of fact, my mother's from Cleveland. She was born in Cleveland, right? So shout out to Cleveland. I still got family out there. My nephews, they all still live in Cleveland. They bought houses out there. Like the younger, the YNs of us, they live in Cleveland and shit. So I got a lot of family in Cleveland, in fact. My wife's husband, my sister's husband is born and raised, I think. Well, he's raised in Cleveland with families all out from Cleveland. My sister's husband, so he lived out in Cleveland for years and shit. So, I lived in Cleveland for a couple years with my sister while she was building the house and shit. Long story, but yeah, we lived out there in Cleveland. I lived on the north end with my sister and shit. So, uh, I'm rocking out with Cleveland right now. I'm going with Abdullah Mason. You know what I'm saying? Fucking Tiger Johnson, and I'm taking Carrington. I'm taking all of them in the fight. I hope Shushu shows up and shows out. I want Shushu to stay champion because Shushu's biggest fight is coming up the ladder with Naoya Inoue, and he deserves a fight like that. Shushu, he's put in a lot of work in boxing. He deserves a good payday. You know what I'm saying? And the opportunity to try to be the first person to beat the Japanese dude, you know, an American fighter. You know, I think that that's what might end up beating him. So Kyushu's our best shot to take that all away from Japan. He's our best shot. So I'm going with Shushu in the fight because I need him to be there to make a mega fight with the Japanese dude, right? Because Naoya, we know who Naoya Inoue is, and you guys know how I feel about the dude, right? He's a special kind of fighter, but this is competition. And Naoya Inoue is not going to be butthurt because I want the American guys to be the one that might beat him or something. I'm an American. What the fuck? At the end of the day, that's what I am. So, but I love the fucking Japanese dude. I think he's amazing. But we're competing guys. I think Naoya Inoue beat Shushu. Yeah, I've made a lot of funny sketches and things like that, but it's all bullshit, shit talking. You know what I mean? But in reality, I think that Shushu can give the Japanese dude a good fight, man. And he might be big enough. Who knows? Did Naoya Inoue max out? Is he maxed out with it? He goes up to 126. Could he look slower? Could Shushu catch up with that power? Could Shushu's power be too much for the Japanese guy? We don't know. We don't know. But I think the Japanese dude, man, is a hell of a fighter, and I think he'll beat Shushu. Until I see the Japanese dude lose, I'm not going to go against him. But I respect Shushu, man, and US, of course. They're my guys, and I love competition. So if anybody's going to get the big fight, I want my U.S. guy to get it. I'm going to advocate for U.S., of course. I'm not sitting here arguing for the fucking Mexican, Espinoza. Although, because I'd rather avoid him too. Yo, I think that's Naoya Inoue's biggest threat. So, it kind of helps me out. It's a win-win for me. Get the Mexican, USA, USA. Stay away from that dude. You know what I'm saying? Naoya Inoue. That might be a problem. And then you got the other guys, Leo and shit like that. So he's Team USA too. But I guess you could say Latin descent, absolutely. So yeah, I don't see Brandon Figueroa fighting Naoya Inoue. I think he avoids him like the plague. Yeah, he couldn't beat Stephen Kubo Fulton. Not once, but twice. You can't beat. You got two cracks as Stephen Kubo Fulton, and you couldn't beat him. Naoya Inoue starched him, like starched him. I don't think in a good world Figueroa even wants to entertain a fight with Naoya Inoue. I think his style is bad, catered to Naoya Inoue's style, and Naoya Inoue would destroy him. Just straight destroy him. So for me, the guy that I'm going to advocate for, of course, you know what I'm saying? My guy gets some money too, bro. Let him get paid. Fuck that. Like, you know, Bruce Karen, give him and he's got the most prestigious belt, the WBC. You can't say he doesn't have the good belt neither. So it's like the WBC is the one you know what I mean? Listen, did you guys see? See, because that's why it's the best to fuck with the WBC. Okay? Because if you pay attention, look at how many of those fighters been getting those chains with the WBC crown, like Ryan Garcia got. Look, the WBC is giving those shits away. I think they're like $100,000. Them charms and shit and chain all together. It's like maybe 100 grand. So is the IBF doing that? Does the WBA do that? How about the WBO? Do they do that for their fighters? Do they make commemorative belts for every big major fight for their champion? This fight right here on July 4th, when Bruce Karen goes into that ring to fight his opponent, the WBC made a belt for the 250th anniversary. And they got, it's like America. It's got like the white, it's blue. It's got the white lines on it with the red. Yo, that shit is dope, bro. You see black on it? Does the IBF do that? How about the WBO? How about the WBA? Do they do that for you, for the fighters? What's the best organization out of all of them? Who does things for their fighters? That belt is a one of a kind, a one of one. After this night, 20 years from now, he's going to have that belt on the wall, and his grandkids are going to see it. His grandpa was, I won that belt on this night. It's a one of one. Depending how that athlete, look at all the belts that Saul has, the commemorative belts that they made for each individual major fight. But the belts that they made for him when he defended all four belts. The 4 times that Saul defended all 4 belts, the WBC made him a different belt for that night. When Saul Canelo Alvarez dies, the next wave of Mexican men come up, rich men, wealthy men, men that made something of themselves, hard work, but they're millionaires. They got money, Mexicans. And all of them are not about drug cartel or nothing. No, there are great Mexican citizen businessmen, successful and rich as hell. Okay? The top of the Mexican dudes, they have sons. They love boxing. They hear of the legend of Saul Canelo Alvarez, and the grandfather remembers it. His belts are on auction. Maybe one of his grandkids was like, you know what? I'm going to make $1 off this. All 4 of those belts are the belts that he earned the night he defended all 4. How much money you think one of them is worth? To a Mexican proud boxing enthusiast fan that has a shitload of money, is he going to buy one belt? They're all 4 of them are right there. Are you going to split up the connection? No, there's an American. He loves boxing too. And he's fucking rich. I don't have to be a Mexican. I could be a boxing fan. And I say 1 million for that belt. And there's a Japanese dude. He doesn't give 2 shits because he couldn't get Naoya Inoue's belts But Saul's belt is right there. And I got a shitload of money. And here comes this Iran guy, and he's got his little, and he's like, I got billions. I don't want one. I want all four. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen with that 101 belt that Terrence Crawford won the night that he fought Saul Canelo Alvarez? Who does this for you? The WBC. They made the belt. You can win a lot of WBC world titles, and there have been many champions that have them, but no one has that particular belt that they made for that night. It's stamped, signed for the night, represented, made by the WBC. They're giving you an opportunity to make history and to have something to show for it. Yeah, you can show your regular belt you won on the night for the IBF, IWBO, and etc. Yeah. But he has two. He has the green one that they're going to give him, and this one. That's why it's good to fuck with the WBC. Although there are a lot of the, we know the history. Don't start, but they're corrupt. Name me an NFL, Major League, soccer, or NBA where somebody didn't slide somebody an envelope. I'll wait. You ain't never saw shaved points in an NBA game? So don't start talking shit about my fucking belts. Because I can already see one of you, and you're about to type, stop it. We know. But that is the best belt, and Shushu has it. Shushu has it, and he has a chance of winning the commemorative belt that the WBC made for the July 4th event. And you guys will see it on full display because they don't want to come out and say it. But that ring that Terrence won, that's a 101. That ring, right? That shit is dope. They never made no shit like that again. That shit was sized for Canelo, not Terrence. And that belt was made for Canelo, not Terrence. But boxing is so beautiful that they gave Terrence the opportunity to play spoiler, and he did. That belt is made, I feel, for Bruce Carrington. It favors New York City. The belt favors like fucking New York City. It's definitely feels like it was made for him. It wasn't made for the guy that he's competing against. No, not at all. And I think that ring and that belt, but still, nevertheless, if Shushu's not careful and he loses that belt will go to that guy. Saul Canelo Alvarez, that ring and that belt was made for him, but he wasn't careful, and Terrence Crawford walked off with the belt and the ring. That ring that Terrence Crawford has, that motherfucker's a one-on-one. He can unscrew it. It has the boxing ring inside of it and everything, and it's fucking dope as shit. There ain't no ring like that in boxing. That's a one-on-one, and that ring by itself costs like $150,000, I heard. So if you're gonna sell it, right? Shit, we're not going under 150 grand just off rip. Then you're adding that Saul's name is attached to that ring. That's what the fight was about. It was about Terrence and him, not about all the boxing. Just you and him, mano a mano. There's gonna be a Mexican dude that's gonna want that ring. Eventually, that ring will get passed down in generation to Terrence's kids. I don't think they'll ever sell it. I think that Terrence made enough money that they ain't going broke, and if they're smart, they'll stay rich. They'll never have to come up off their dad's belts, rings. That'll stay in their family forever. I would hope it happens, but you never know. There's a lot of athletes, a lot of fighters. I've seen their shit up on auctions and shit once they're dead and gone. You know, they family start selling everything. You saw what happened to Kobe Bryant. You know, man, that was bad with Kobe. That hurt to see his family do that the way they did it. I don't even want to go into details. If you know, you know. That was man, everything that man built with 5 rings, man. To fuck, bro. I would wish that everything I built, if I ever was a man like that, that someone in my family would, take all my accolades, my trophy, and keep them in our family. You know, hopefully, what I built lasts the test of time. And there was someone in my family that loved boxing like me, whether they became a boxer or not, but valued what grandpa did and not willing to come up off of it. You know what I mean? Because it's our family name. This is what I would have built it, and shit like that. Uh, like what happened to OJ Simpson for him. He went out there and his shit was on auction, his Heisman Trophy, and he went there and he was trying to get his life back. He was trying to buy the stuff that they took from him, the government. And it's just sad, like, you know, these athletes go through their entire career, man. They accomplish these things, and then one day, one horrible day, it's all gonna come to an end. You're gonna have to say quit. And an athlete, to compare him to any profession, I would compare him to a soldier. You take a soldier from a young age, he enters the army at 17, 18. I don't know what the age limit is anymore. You go in there and you come out at 32, 35, and your entire life you were in there and you became a soldier and you were trained to fight and maybe you have combat experience. And then one day it comes to an end. What are you? You're just a trained warrior with no battle, no fight, no war. You're a trained fighter, but there's no more fight, but the fight within. And a lot of boxers struggle with this, the change. What now? What next? I've been fighting all my life, and all I know is to fight. And you're telling me that there's no more fight. That right there can be a scary and not situation, and not every man deals with it the same. Some men start drinking, going to women and drugs, shit they never did in their boxing career. They just didn't know what else to do. They couldn't fucking fix a car engine. They didn't know how to build anything with a carpenter with their hands. All they knew was how to push their fist into somebody's face. And that didn't work in the regular world. It doesn't work. And you find yourself and you're lost. You just got money. No one taught you how to manage it, how to spend it. And you're just left in a world by yourself, like, and not a lot of fighters and a lot of athletes know how to make that adjustment. A lot of them start doing shit they would have never did because in the real world, although on a world stage they were viewed and famous by everybody, but they get swallowed up by the lamplight. Girls start saying, sniff this, do this, and they're like little kids. They've been sheltered around from the gruddy life. They might be famous, They might have been around people that were like that, but remember, you cut all those people off in order for you to succeed. So they hid you out in your big mansions and your car, and they surrounded you by a lot of material shit. And you got visits and families members, and you went on vacations. But you didn't stay in the gruddy. You didn't stay there. So when you're all said and done and you come back, the streets is going to eat him up. He'll be addicted to drugs, alcohol, women, fast life, and he'll be cool and he'll have a lot of flashy shit. You ever see those dudes? But they fit the profile like they're street, but it feels like that piece of the street is missing. And they fall for everything. For everything, bro. And they just keep putting the money. You see them. And those are the athletes that go down that path. And yeah, like this, the Marbury, Stephon Marbury, all the dudes, bro. They was all street dudes, man. That money, they forgot what it, and then when they turned around, yo, AI, when AI left, yo, AI got, they, yeah, because during that time when they were on their run and shit, too many years away from the street, when they came back, they were gullible. They fit the profile, but they weren't street. But that's what happened. So fight fans, man. Listen, guys, let me catch up. Yup, just let the fight if they agree. Free will. Yeah, when Berlanga went down, what are you guys talking about? Rayo de los Santos versus de los Santos, what was made at 135 on Sufa with look, Frontline is on suicide watch. They got him on the with a paper Johnny. He's in there with a paper Johnny right now in a straight jacket, rocking back and forth. No, Santa didn't get loose. The fight got the fight. The referee stopped the fight early. Yo, he's not there. Yeah, Frontline, where you at? Where you at, Frontline? The people want answers. Frontline.
He needs some milk.
Yo, Frontline saying it isn't so right now. You know what I'm saying? What's up? What up? How you doing? Yo, I don't know where Frontline's at right now. I ain't seen him. You know what I'm saying? And even if I seen Frontline, I ain't gonna tell y'all where he at. Yo, Frontline, get back. They're gonna the cameras like this. What's back here? No, shh. I ain't seen Frontline, all right? I don't know where he is. Listen, I'm not talking. All right? Yeah, I don't know where he is. I haven't seen him. I'm not giving him up. Yo, Frontline, the people want your head. They're at the door with pitchforks and torches. Ah, we want Frontline. We want Frontline. Yo, listen. Yo. And I'm right behind you guys, like, yeah, get Frontline. Yeah, fuck them up. That's fucked up, right? Hell no, I got Frontline's back. Me and Frontline, you know what I'm saying? Well, I'm not gonna speak for him, but I was here. I got here after the fight, and I had an amazing time at the fight, guys. You know, like you guys can go to my channel, check out the videos and shit, the shorts and everything. And for like the people that are like, joining us now and shit, like this is me and Showbiz at the place and shit. at the Barclays Center. Then hold on. Look at this is the next middleweight champion of the world. My brother's son, there he is. He's gonna be the middleweight champion of the world. O'Shaquie Foster coming in through the metal detectors. Right? You can check out that video. I got these pictures up too. I had a great time at the fight. I got a lot of good action in the fight. This is Yuri versus Jahai Tucker right there. I got a lot of action. Oh yeah, I was in the Barclays Center. They got the in the rafters. They got the banners and shit. I had taken a video of that. Let me see. Oh yeah, that one was fast. Punch Drunk and Joe um what's his name? Broadway Joel. And I was over there fucking with them and shit. We was up there chopping up Michaela Mayer. She's tall as hell. Look at her. She's tall. Go somewhere later and show me how you throw that uppercut. Yo, anyway, listen, the Vargas, like I watched, so I got footage on all of them. This is Vargas and Bryce right here. I got the video when Vargas drops him. In fact, I was recording it when he dropped them. Yeah. Yeah, it was a great time, man. Great night of boxing, man. The card really lived up to its expectation, Look at Xander. Look at the people in the crowd. Look at the crowd. Look at the crowd, how electric it was in there. So when they say, yeah, there's no ticket, you know how they be lying and shit. I'm just letting you know, somebody that was at the fight that recorded the audience, because you know how they be doing and shit. Xander don't sell. Look at Xander up there. He's ready, baby. Look at that. Let's go. I was amped at this time. They was amped. They was amped, bro. That's two sections, two rows, like of people. That was dope. Yo, man, the night was, you know what I'm saying? It was big. It was big. I got when Xander got dropped in the round. I got that shit. I got the third round too. When Xander hurt him. I don't know what round was this one. I don't know what video I pressed on. It's kind of blurry because of the. I gotta take that out. Oh, that was the third round when he rocked his head back. Everybody started screaming. Yeah. But I got a lot of good videos and shit and that of that day, man. I did pretty good. I did pretty good, people. You know. Oh, did I tell you guys what happened to me? Yo, you guys almost lost your boy round one, bro. It was finito for me. I would have died of heat stroke, right? Yesterday, I get up on top of my roof, and there's this when the previous owners of the house they added onto our house. So we have a two floor house. It's one family, just me, my wife, my daughter, stuff. We live in the house. So there's a backside that was added, an additional room. So when they made it, there's this fucking piece that goes from like my house to the house, and it's all got like roof, the tiles and everything, of course, but it's flat. So there'd be mad debris on there, snow, and I gotta get out there and take it out because it's gonna fucking. If you leave it there over years, it'll just start messing up your roof right there. It's gonna cause you problems. So I get up there and shit with the ladder. and I go to like see what's up there, bro. That shit's been sitting there, falling from the tree, the pine tree, that it made like a mat. Yo, that shit was like this thick, like that thick. And it started growing a tree right out of it. It like this. Look, that's the tree. That shit weighed like 60 pounds. Look it, that's the tree. And it wasn't in the ground, nothing. It was just that it got piled up for so much time being there that the soil gave it life and a little tree started growing up like a little tree. And it's down, but that tree was actually standing up because now it's on the floor. This is when I threw it off the roof onto the ground. So it broke up its thing. But check it out. Check it out. I had the ladder there. I had the ladder there. When I threw it off the roof, it knocked down the ladder. I was stuck on the roof. Bro, I went up there about 10:30 in the morning, 11 o'clock. I wanted to get the yard work before I go on and go live. So I went outside. I'm getting some of the yard work. I got to do some of my bushes and my trim. I got to keep, I got a lot of fucking grass. And like every day I'm out there battling with nature. So I picked that thing up, right? I rolled it first like a blunt because it was too heavy. I was like, damn, bro, it was a huge patch. Yo, guys, it was big. So I grabbed it like that and I threw it. Yo, that shit knocked the ladder off. I was like, what am I gonna do? Now my daughter, she was home, but you guys know, my daughter, my daughter can't walk. He's in a wheelchair. Her legs don't bend. They're like this, right? She was born like that. So Nala, get out here and put the ladder. Yeah, right. That is not happening. I'm stuck, bro. I was up on the roof until my wife gets out of work, 5:30, 6 o'clock at night. I was on the roof at around 11 o'clock in the afternoon. So she gets home around 5, 6 in the sun. I was done. I was done. I live in the country. My next neighbor, it literally, oh, like you would, the dude was out there doing his lawn and he couldn't hear me. I'm like, yo, the old man, he couldn't hear me. I was fucked. And I live 2 stories, almost 3 stories up from my house. I got the basement, the first floor, the second floor, then the roof. I'm on the roof. I was done. I was done. There was nothing. Yo, thank God these 2 little girls, the summer vacation, they were about, both of them, they were like 12 years old, 12 and 13 or something. They couldn't have been no older than that. They literally was coming up the road and I started yelling, look at, I sounds like a creep, right? I'm like, yo, like trying to lure somebody. Yo, I felt so crazy. They're like, do you need help? I'm like, yes. I got a ladder. I need you to come on the side of my house. They don't even, but I'm desperate. I'm like, I'm not gonna do anything to no girls or anything like that. But it was like they're looking at me like they're not stupid. With shout out to the 2 girls for checking first, and that's what the girls need to do. You can't be helping out anybody. I got a puppy over here. That's how you fucking keep. There's people like that in the world. Disgusting. So like I was screwed. And shout out to the 2 girls, man. They came by. And I was like, girls, you guys could do it. I didn't think they could do it. I didn't think because the ladder was huge. Because I'm all the way up there and both of them got up there. They was pushing it. As soon as they got it like there, I put my foot out. I got the ladder to the side. I was like, girls, just hold it. Hold the ladder with your hands like that. Just let me get on. And I got it. I got down. Oh, them girls a fucking ice cream cone or soda or something. I don't know where they be at. It's not like I'm gonna go chase them down, but I was just thankful. I was like, thank you, girls, thank you. Man, but my daughter ended up knowing both of them. I guess they go to school together. Yeah, so she knew because my daughter said both their names. She was like, hey, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, cool. I was like, cool. So that was cool. So I'll do something and send go stop by and do something or something because I owe him at least that because I was stranded, bro. I was screwed. I was sitting up there on the roof. I was like, damn, till 5:30, 6 o'clock. And I'm hoping she gets home at that time. What if she was like, I had to run an errand? Bro, I was screwed. But anyway, enough with my shit, enough with my life stories and shit. Just shit that happens and shit, right? So that happened to me, man, yesterday, man. And I was screwed. But bro, got it off the roof, got that part done. Let me get off here right now. I got to get out there and get some yard work. It's going to be like one of the hottest days. So stay inside, guys. Got these ACs pumping out right now. And if anybody sees Frontline, anybody out there, tell him that we miss him and we still love for him. But he has to come up here and eat some crow. You know what I'm saying? You knew this was going to be a process. And this one right here, this one pica. Pica un poco. Pica, 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 pica. So Frontline, I ain't gonna be up here taking all the damage. You know what I'm saying? When you have part in this Frontline, don't be stock chasers. You know how stock does. You know what I'm saying? When his guy loses, you don't find stock for at least a month on social media. He be gone. You know what I'm saying? I talk a lot when his guy wins. But you know those guys, they not built for this. Frontline, don't be that guy. When you see this video, you better be on tonight. We're going on tonight. We're going on tonight. 8 o'clock. It's just that 7:30 now. It's not like 7:30 of last few months, right? When it was dark outside. 7:30, you there's still sunshine. It's still time to play outside. You know what I'm saying? To play. So like more like 8 o'clock, I think. We'll go on, we'll talk, we'll see if Fun Line shows up, you know what I mean? But hey, it is what it is, right? You got to answer for these fights, my man. And our guy lost. Our guy lost. Unfortunately, our guy came up short. Xander got taught a boxing lesson. Shout out to Philly, Jerron Boots Ennis. You guys are the new unified world champion. The division falls on you guys. Talks are already being rumored and made for Sebastian Fundora versus Jerron Boots Ennis. Let's see where that goes. Okay. Virgil Ortiz had a lot to say. Let's see where that goes. Where the fuck is Josh Kelly in all of this? While all this shit is starting to happen, where the fuck is Josh Kelly? Has anybody seen him? Anybody? He's got a fight schedule. We know that. But at least he could be saying something, towards the future. Where is he? So let's step back, see what happens. What's next for Jerron Boots Ennis? What's next for Xander Zayas? If Virgil Ortiz, you know what I'm saying, you want to run your mouth, bro, meet Xander at 160. It'll be your debut. Xander doesn't have any fights at 160, and neither would you. You guys can fight for the vacant belt. What do you think? Yeah, according to Virgil, he can beat all of you. You know what I mean? So fight him. I'll tell you the truth. Boots really shouldn't fight Virgil Ortiz. He really shouldn't. First of all, Virgil, you priced yourself out when I wanted to fight you. You made me go through a whole bunch of bullshit and you stalled out my career. Had it not been for Xander, where would I have been? because we offered you the fight. Now, I would be in a situation where I would have to give you an opportunity rather than what? Fighting one of the other champions? If one of the other champions come up before Virgil, or even say Virgil saying right now, I want to fight you. But one of the champions says, yo, I'll fight you. Forget the Virgil fight. The only one that's getting an opportunity there is Virgil. You're just getting a title defense on your new belts. Great. That's something big. But still, the person that's gaining is Virgil. With Sebastian Fundora, that's for 3 belts. Wait your line, Virgil. Get back in line and do what you've done best your entire career. Wait. You should be familiar with that. You've always done that. You'll be right where you always was, in second place, Virgil. They should be nothing. You should be familiar with that. So I guess nothing would be wrong. Hey, Virgil, why don't you try becoming a world champion first? That's what I got to say to that. Anyway, thank you, Fight fans, for tuning in. Don't forget to give these videos a like. Subscribe to the channel, become a Round One Sports Talk member. And like always, I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. If you see Frontline out there, remember, he's got RP, Rico, with the Mexican flag. That's Frontline. Yo, you know how when people say that in the cartoons and shit, then all of a sudden they put up a sketch of a guy and that guy really exists?